Good morning, folks of the gathering. I thought for a few weeks to help us get to know one another, I would send you a little weekly message, probably by video, to let you know what I'm thinking about for this week's sermon. It won't be this Sunday's sermon. We actually tape it on Friday, but you will be hearing it on Sunday. And a word about that, let me say I'm still very grateful to church leadership for every week analyzing this very difficult time of change. Who would have ever thought that we would be in a position to where we think it's best to not come together to church? And we do right now. And as that changes, we'll make appropriate changes that will be odd and feel different to us. And it's just a lot of change going on right now. I was talking with some friends this week and asked, have you guys ever seen a time like this? Now, they're like me. They've got a few miles on them. And they had to admit, no, we haven't. You couple all of the racial difficulty and change that seems to be coming that I frankly think is good, but also the pandemic change of not being able to be with one another. I really miss seeing my children and grandchildren, but the change for me is, for once, it seems to be best not to see them as opposed to seeing them. So the text I've got picked out for you this week is in Matthew 21, and if you want to get a head start, I won't be preaching the sermon. You'll hear new stuff about it, but it's two texts really. In Matthew 21, verse 23, the first text, the old theological word is pericope, which means these are the paragraphs that go together, is a conversation that Jesus has where the Pharisees question him about his authority. They don't like it. Who are you to bring about all this change into our system of religion? We've got this down to an art. We are the authorities that tell others what to think, what the laws are. We have measured every step they can take every day. Why are you blowing up our world and asking us to change? And by the way, who put you in charge, Jesus? Who are you to make those changes in our world? That text is a pretty interesting conversation with them, and I will make the application that it is an interesting conversation with us. Unless you're really unusual, and you may be, most of us really don't like a lot of change. We might say we do, but we get used to things we like and do and comfortable, and we would really prefer to settle into those. We just don't like change. The second text that's in here is the parable of the two sons. It's not the prodigal son parable with the jealous brother and the prodigal son. It's the parable of just two sons who, the dad, who was the authority in that day, you did what dad said in the Middle Eastern culture, had something for them to do in the vineyard, and one son said, I'm not going to do it. The other son said, oh yeah, I'll do it, Dad. And he doesn't. And one son changes, says, maybe I think I need to do this. Which one was right? The one who protested the change but was able to change, or the one who simply ignored the direction and did what they wanted to do? Jesus is saying, if you follow me, it is about change. So this week, as you pray about worship, read through Matthew 21, 23 through 32. Think about, are there areas in my life that have become so steady and stable that I never question or think about? Are there areas that Jesus would like to change? Henry Nouwen wrote, only those who face their wounded conditions can be available for the healing and so enter a new way of life. For the Christian, Every day is a new way of life. Create in me a clean heart, O God. We want to make this day a new day of journey and faith and even change. Jesus didn't say, I want to follow you. You go ahead and let me know what you need me to be, and I will conform to that. Jesus said, if you want to be my disciple, you'll love God, you'll love your neighbor, and you will follow me. And in case the disciples who followed did not understand, he said, you will take up your cross and follow me, which means this will be difficult. We're in some difficult times. They're not just social, they're not just racial, they're not just pandemic, but it's part of everyday living as a Christian that we would ask questions of ourselves. Am I following Jesus, or am I trying to get him to do what I want and follow me? I hope you have a great week this week. I'm going to meet you one day, and I'm looking forward to that. But as I've shared with you before, if I can be helpful to you, you at least have an email contact right now. And I'm glad for you to be in touch. But just know that we're praying for this very, very unique ministry called The Gathering. I'm excited about being a part of something that has been good and will continue to be good. Blessings to you, and you have a great Wednesday.